Okay, good evening. Today is Monday, October 27th, 2025. It is a regular meeting of the Town Council of Southington. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Jack Perry,
Here.
Jennifer Klock,
Here.
Michael Del Santo,
Present.
Valerie DiPaolo,
Here.
William Diedzik,
Here.
James Morelli,
Here.
Tony Morrison,
Here.
Christopher Palmieri,
Here.
Paul Chaplinsky.
Here, we have all 9 members present. Councilwoman DiPaolo is remote for the record. So as we go through the meeting, if we can ensure that we're giving time for Councilwoman DiPaolo to talk, that would be wonderful. Looking for item 2, motion for the meeting minutes of our last regular meeting. Oh, yeah, we got to do prayer. Sorry, you guys. Stand for the prayer and the flag salute. Sorry, Mike, you got the prayer? Thank you.
Heavenly Father, open our eyes this evening to the truth and reality of every situation that we encounter. Give us solutions that are the best for our community now and in the future. Keep your hand upon Southington and continue to make her great. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're heading on to item 2. We're looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our last regularly scheduled meeting, which I believe was the 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Chris, second from Mike. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Val, are you all set?
Mr. Chair, I need to abstain.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I need to abstain.
Thank you, Val. Any opposed?
You're welcome.
Okay, hearing none, the motion passes 8-0, 1 abstention. We're going to move into councilperson communications, and I'd like to start off, Councilman Palmieri, I wanted to say a few words, and then I've invited Representative Poulos to say, to prepare, or to present some citations that he has from the delegation champion. So after Chris Palmieri, we'll do Representative Chris Poulos.
Okay, I just had some remarks I'd like to share about our colleagues.
Please.
That we know, obviously, we have a municipal election coming up, but 3 of our members have decided they're not running for re-election, so I just wanted to acknowledge them. And I have prepared a little statement for them. As we wrap up this term, I want to take a moment to recognize 3 of our colleagues who will not be seeking re-election, Bill Diedzik, Jack Perry, and Val DiPaolo. Each of them has made a lasting contribution to this council and to the Southington community. Bill and I are now the longest-serving council members of the council. Over the years, we've served in both the majority and the minority, both of us, and through it all, we've always had a deep mutual respect. Bill's steady leadership and fairness have been constants on this council, and I've truly valued working alongside him. So thank you, Bill, and congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
Jack Perry is someone I first met when he was one of my students at Kennedy Middle School, which makes it even more special to have served along him on the council. We later served together on a committee before Jack joined us on the town council. Jack's insight as a small business owner in town, his technical knowledge, especially related to operations and public works, and his passion for helping others have all been valuable to our work here. Jack, you will be sorely missed in the council, and I know future endeavors are ahead of you, so best of luck. And Val DiPaolo and I also go back quite a ways. We served together in the library board. That was back when it was an elected board. We served together there before serving on the council, and we shared a passion for supporting all the services provided by our library. Val also coached girls basketball at DiPaolo Middle School, so I've had the chance to see her leadership in a different setting as well. Over the past 6 years in the council, Val has consistently brought compassion, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to doing what's right for the town. She listens carefully, speaks thoughtfully, and always keeps people at the heart of every decision. So Val, we know you'll be missed sorely as well. So to Bill, Jack, and Val, thank you to everything you've given to this community. It's been a privilege to serve alongside all of you. You've brought different strengths, perspectives, and experiences that have helped shape this council for the better. I'm sure I speak for all of us in wishing you nothing but the best in whatever comes next. Southington is better because of all your service. So thank the three of you.
Thank you, Chris. And Representative Poulos, if you'd like to come on up.
Good evening. It's good to be back in the council chambers again. I have a lot of fond memories of this room. The Southington delegation, when we heard the announcements about the change up on the council, we decided that we would put together some citations of gratitude for the counselors that are moving on and retiring from the council for now. And so I wish the rest of the delegation could be here. Senator Sampson is out of the country, and Representative Mastro Francesco had a conflict, and Representatives Veach and Martinez also could not make it. And so I have some state citations for each of the three departing members. I'd like to say a few words personally, and then I will present them to the people here. And make sure that Councilwoman DiPaolo gets her citation. I'll just start with Councilman Dietzick. In 2017, we were both elected to the town council, and during our time on the council and beyond, he's always been nothing but a gentleman in terms of his way he's conducted himself with me and other members of the board. There were times that we didn't really agree on certain issues when we were on the council, but I'll always remember those votes that we came to consensus on, and some fond memories of our post-council gatherings. So Bill, I wish you the best of luck in your personal endeavors and professional endeavors as you leave the council.
Thank you, Chris.
Councilman Perry, I did not serve with, but we have become good friends and colleagues. And Councilman Perry is someone who we would have conversations. He would call me, and we talk about state issues, and we talk about how they interact with town issues. And always someone I could call if there was something about a piece of equipment or a road or something to do. He had a great knowledge of the public works and those aspects of government, something that I really don't, I have to acquire as a high school teacher. I'm not in that line of work. And so when people ask me about Councilman Perry, residents will say, do you know Jack Perry? And I say, yeah. And I say, what do you think? And I've always said he's a fighter. And not in a negative way, but in a way where he's always fighting for the residents that he represents. And so you'll be missed on the council, not just by me, but by many residents who have appreciated your advocacy for them. And Val, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Chris, I can.
Okay, great. So I had the pleasure of serving with Councilwoman DiPaolo for one term, and we sat next to each other on the dais. And I remember we had there's some times in this room where we have some heated debates, and we prepare for those debates. And Councilwoman DiPaolo always had a very calming way about her to try to explain a path forward that would de-escalate some of the emotions when we were working to try to do what's best for our community. She's contributed as a councilwoman and as a community member in many, many ways. And because of that, I'm not sure if the public is aware, but Councilwoman DiPaolo was named the 2025 Democrat of the Year. And she'll be celebrated later this week. Hopefully she's well for that celebration. But in a party that, the Democratic Party is a very, very, very large tent. And to rise up to become the representative, the person of the year in that party means that you have to be able to interact with all of the members of the party and do well. And unanimously, she gets positive approval rating. So Val, I wish you were here tonight, but I do congratulate you. I'll find a time to deliver your citation to you, but I want to wish you well and congratulations.
Thanks so much, Chris. I really appreciate it. I wish I could be there too.
Yeah, so you're going to miss the picture. We'll Photoshop you in. So I have, these citations are written, they're very similar, so I'm just going to read one just to save time. I know people are anxious to move on with the business of the town. And I would like to call Councilman Dietzick and Councilman Perry down to the, down here, so we can go through this. Okay, so this is an official, these are official state citations from the Capitol. For those people here, these are beautiful documents, and I'm going to read one so everyone can hear our deepest gratitude and congratulations. It says, State of Connecticut General Assembly, official citation. I guess I need the mic for Val. Introduced by myself and the other members of the Southington delegation. Be it hereby known to all, the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Councilor William Dietzick, Councilor Jack Perry, and Councilor Valerie DiPaolo in recognition of your dedication to the town of Southington during your term as town councilor. You have shown dedication and commitment to serving your community, and we thank you for all of your hard work. We wish you the best going forward and hope that you will continue to be an active and passionate member of our town. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success given this 27th day of October 2025 at the state capitol, signed by the President Pro Tem Martin Looney, the Speaker of the House Matt Ritter, and Secretary of State Stephanie Thomas. I wish you the best and congratulations. Thank you.
Photo op. Need a photo with the speaker?
Yeah, maybe we can
Maybe
do
get
it.
one with and without, because you can have a funny one and a.
Yeah, we'll do that. Why don't we just post for a photo, and then if I don't know, someone help me out, thanks.
Stand in the middle.
Over here.
Yeah.
You can hold the speaker. There you go. You want to get a selfie with it? Okay, there you go. Thank you, Representative Poulos, for coming. And thanks for
You bet.
the awards from yourself and the delegation. Okay. Moving on to councilperson communications. Bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, Chris, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. I don't know if I'll ever run again. I may or may not, so I don't want to sit here and make this whole like retirement speech, but I do want to say thank you, though. I want to say thank you to the town of Southington for giving me this opportunity. It really is an honor of a lifetime and a surprising one. I had no intention. I never thought I'd be up here. And then, I learned so much from everybody that I served with, both sides. Like Chris, you alluded to earlier, I served under you first as chair. I served under Vicky and now Paul. And I've learned so much from everybody. So thank you for that. And then I think, it gets so negative this time of year, and I understand it, I do. I've been in it. But I think on a more positive note, what makes this town so great is what people don't see behind the scenes, how many volunteers there are that make this town the great place it is. When I leave my son's football practice, I see the volunteer coaches across all of Rec Park. And you come here and you see, our volunteer government. This is really what, makes Southington such a great town, and I couldn't have been happier to be a part of it. And my message today is that something gets you interested in politics, whatever it could be. Everyone has their own stories for why we're sitting here, and there's people out here that haven't run yet or haven't thrown their hat in the ring or have. And I wish you the best luck. We need that type of motivation, that type of energy, that type of passion, because that's what makes this town run. So it's kind of a call to people. I like when people come up for public communication and you see them come again. And it's the passion that I see, and I've always really enjoyed it. So thank you to everyone I served with, and good luck to everybody. Maybe some a little more luck, but good luck.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else, councilperson communications? Jack?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I want to thank Chris for the kind words. Was not, when we caucused today, he didn't mention anything about that, but that just shows Chris's personality, that he stays very modest. Same thing with Representative Poulos. That was a surprise for me today as well, so thank you for that. Want to thank, first off, my family for giving me, up to Southington, right? I've taken a lot of time away from my family over the years. Sometimes for small portions of time, sometimes for larger portions, but they've always backed me with my decisions, and that means a lot to me, as well as the friends over the years that I've made, and the dialogue, right? There's always going to be a difference of opinion. That's what makes us all different. But it's always, done, I think, in a nice, formal way, especially with friends. You have both sides of, issues, so that's always good. And I want to thank the residents for entrusting me. It was an honor to serve on the council. I got involved in 2016, 2017 in politics, and it's something that, I've always been a strong believer of making a difference, and that's why I ran, is to make a difference. So all the residents that I met, spoke to, town staff, town managers, town attorneys, the countless hours that we all put in as a council, member is people don't see it. For instance, I was in Disney earlier this year, and that council meeting I participated remotely, but that was 4 hours. On the phone, I got to watch the fireworks while doing a council meeting. But I'm a strong believer that when you run for something, it's a job that you have to do regardless of the compensation. And we don't get paid, and it's all volunteers that are here. And I think that's where, there's 9 of us. We all have different perspectives, we have different visions, but it's the collaboration that, makes Southington what it is. And, this is a town that I will never move out of. I love this town, went to Southington Public Schools. This is a great town. So I can't, can't show enough gratitude for having this opportunity. It's been an honor to serve on the council. As everybody's seen, I'm a strong believer on transparency. I fought tirelessly just because I want government to operate. There shouldn't be anything that I know that everybody else doesn't know. That's what got me involved in politics, is I felt that, there was a connection of some sort, that we weren't, as transparent as we should be. So I do, want to thank the town manager's office, because I've given tons of FOIA requests over the years. And I know it takes a lot of time, but I think it's the best thing that we could do. And, fighting and voicing concerns of all the residents, the emails that we get, all the time. So I will miss all that, but I will say that I'm not going away. This is my town, this is my community. I plan on continuing to volunteer and give back in any capacity I possibly can. My time on the council, I've tried to use my skill sets that I've developed over the years to help Southington and make it better. And, bring a different perspective on things. So I want to thank everybody. I know on this dais we've had our moments, but, overall, I think we've always got past those for the betterment of Southington. So thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate the kind words. Best of luck to you as well. Okay, anybody else? Councilperson communications? Tony?
Mr. Chair?
Oh, sorry. Hi, Val, go ahead.
Are you sure? You want me to wait?
Absolutely. Please go ahead, Val.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have prepared a few remarks too, so I just wanted to be able to make those remarks, and I think I'm going to echo a lot of what both Bill and Jack have just said. It really has been a privilege to serve on the council for these 3 terms. It's been challenging at times. I've learned a lot about local government, and I've really welcomed the opportunity to work with, 2 town managers, some wonderful town staff, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to be able to represent and advocate for all the residents in Southington. I would like to thank Chris Palmeri. Thank you for those very kind words. It's been a pleasure to serve with you, and I'd like to thank Chris Poulos and the state delegation for the citation. Those were very kind words as well. Excuse me. I'd like to also thank my family. Over these last 7 years or so, they've been really supportive. As Jack said, sometimes there's time away from family and family events, and they knew how important it was for me to serve, and they've just been great. So I really would like to thank them, and I would like to give a big thank you to all the residents that either voted for me or supported me and helped, during these three terms. I appreciate the help and support, more than you know. I'd also like to thank the residents that I may not have always agreed with, or they may not have always agreed with me, and they challenged me to understand and see the other side. So I really learned that speaking less and listening more is so beneficial, and it really helps us to find some common ground. Finally, I agree wholeheartedly with Bill. And Bill, you really hit the nail on the head. I think it's so important for people to get involved. And whether you're able to get involved at this level as an elected official, or even be involved by attending meetings or talking with elected officials, getting involved in some of the local grassroots issues, whatever it is, I think community engagement is so important for our community to thrive and to move along a very positive path. So that's what I would encourage as well. I really encourage residents, and that's what I've learned. I think community involvement and community engagement is so important. I hope that residents can get involved, and it is a wonderful community. And so get involved, let your voice be heard, and I think that will push the town, to even greater heights. So again, thank all of you, and it's been a pleasure to serve. I wish I could be there tonight, but I appreciate being able to, make these remarks. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman DiPaolo, for everything you've done on the council as well, and for the kind words that you've expressed.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else for councilperson communications? Tony?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
A few things, but I did want to start with a personal view, because you did the formal presentations for the people leaving. But there's 2 people here that personally I'm not only sorry they're leaving, but they're obviously hopefully consider themselves friends as well. First off, Bill. Councillor Diezig and I ran back in 2017. I ran for Board of Finance, and he ran for the council, and we've been chatting about town politics ever since. And we're good friends. I personally like the fact that Bill is a practicing attorney, and he has that mindset, which I find very, very useful, because he tends to get to the bottom line on issues. Secondly, he has a knowledge of real estate that I don't possess, and it's been very, very helpful in a lot of the things that we've done over the years. So, but sorry to see you go, Bill.
Thank you, Tony.
You are going to be missed, and I'll miss you as well as a friend. And going to the other attorney who's leaving, which is a shame, because the council will be 2 attorneys down, is Val DiPaolo. Val I've worked with on various committees over the years, transportation, ordnance, the sewer committee, and we've always had fun, I think, because obviously some of these things are fairly tedious meetings, but we've always kept it light, and the fact that she's an attorney has been very valuable too. So, miss you on the sewer committee, Val, as vice chair, because we always had a good time. But,
Thank you, Tony.
but the best, going forward. Okay,
Thank you.
moving on to a couple of other points. First is, we all received communication from the union president of AFSCME, which is the Public Works Union, obviously represents a lot of employees in town. And I'll give it to be put in the minutes. But I just wanted to read the first paragraph, because it's not often you get letters from union presidents praising the people they're working for, but this is one of them. Again, Stephen Pompey, union president, AFSCME Local 1326, 130526. On behalf of AFSCME Local 130526, I would like to express our sincere appreciation for Town Manager Riccardone's leadership and character. Throughout challenging negotiations, he has consistently conducted himself with professionalism and respect. As fellow veterans, there is a mutual understanding and regard that is evident in his integrity and approach. And then he goes on to talk about how he really supports what the town manager has done with the highway department, particularly in placing employees in appropriate roles, to carry the mission forward. Anyway, I would like that to be put into the minutes, because I think it's, like I say, it's not often we get letters from union employees, particularly presidents. So, okay, third thing, which is, you have a council. Council only lasts 2 years, okay? And in that time, we all do many, many things, and to single out those is really hard, because we do so much stuff. But I just wanted to single out 3 things, because it's what the 3 things I most like are the ones that will leave a legacy to the town going forward. I mean, obviously, Bill, Jack, and Val were on this council, but they're not going forward. But the legacy of this council will continue, far beyond their retirements. So there are 3 things I think we did. Not only did we do really well, but they are going to, we are going to realize their effect, at least for the next, several councils to come. The first one was the town manager hire. This is always a key strategic choice for us. Our charter makes it so. We've only had 3 before Mr. Riccardone, and each had a record of moving the town forward, progressing. Different viewpoints, maybe, different challenges and stuff, but they essentially did that. And when we came as a council to choose the next manager after Mark retired, Mr. Shioda retired, Minority Leader Chris, Mr. Chairman, Paul, worked together on criteria to select that town manager. And obviously the council, we all had a role in that too. And we all used that in the selection process. It wasn't automatic. We had 4 candidates we put forward. We all interviewed them based on that criteria. And we chose, obviously, Mr. Riccardone, who's sitting here now, who was the town attorney at the time. And it was not a unanimous choice, but one of our council persons said that, which I always thought was good, was that Mr. Riccardone crushed the interview. So I think that was correct. But anyway, what he's done since then has proven out that choice. And we've been pleased with it. As a council, I think we feel comfortable we've made the right choice. We're all happy with his performance so far. And we expect Unfortunately, Alex, we expect better things in the future. So, anyway, second one was the BOA property. The BOA, obviously the Bank of America, has a building in town, and it has extensive parking in the center of town, you know, next to the town green. And we've maintained that parking lot. It's an empty building, you know, but we've maintained the parking lot for the last 5 years. Anyway, Bank of America puts it up for bid. We had to hustle because there was a certain time frame. And as a council, we decided to put in a bid for it because it was strategic to the town. You know, we need the parking there, number one. We need it not just for parking, but we also need it for events. Obviously, Apple Harvest that we've just had is one of those events. So we thought it was a strategic thing to do, and we bid, and we bid high for it because of the value for us as a town. We won that bid, and then we sold the building to defray the costs because we didn't want the building. We wanted it to be used for some private enterprise, and we were very successful. We got top dollar for it in our bidding process, and there's going to be a restaurant there with rooftop dining that's going to add some pizzazz to the center of town, and what we've got left is the entire parking lot that we'll have forever to determine how we want to use that space. Finally, the last thing I think is going to last is the technology upgrades that the town is currently going through. It's one of the things that we asked Mr. Riccadone about. To one of the things that he should concentrate on. The council formed the technology committee under Councilwoman Klopp. It's what we've done in the last year or so is to upgrade the technology people who work for the town considerably, and you'll see that in the budget. We added $350,000 budget this coming year, and also that we had a plan to bring in refresh pretty much everything that is underneath us, the basic physical infrastructure that connects us all together. And on that, we'll obviously be building things that we can use in the future that will be efficiencies and stuff. And that we've got a plan, $325K this year and $325K for the next 4 years. Okay, so this is serious stuff, and we're just starting here. Now, this is the connectivity for the town, not the Board of Ed, but just for the town itself. Obviously, there's been wonderful technology things. I'll talk about one in a minute. From niche things that other people have done on their own, departments have done on their own. But this will provide a capability that we'll be really glad we had as we go forward. So that's it. I did want to say just one minor thing when we talk about technology is we just got a report on the flock cameras, okay? Something that was introduced a few years back, and which is, the flock cameras are just, for those who don't know, they just take pictures of license plates. If there's anything wrong with the license plate, stolen car, whatever, the police are noted immediately. They go out and check that car, and it's what it's been used for is not just picking up people who don't have a license or something, but auto thefts. And since 2021, auto thefts are down in town by 69%. Okay? And sorry, yeah, auto thefts. And secondly, we've had the arrests for the thefts are up 68%. And that's, if you feel like you're safer going forward than you were several years back, well, that's a large part of it. Okay, so crime rate has come down. And I've talked with a couple of cops about this, and they've said, it's not just the fact that you're catching people who are ripping stuff off in your town, or other, or other bad lads, but it's the fact that those guys then tell everybody in the network. We know we have car theft networks, avoid Southington, because you will be caught. So, anyway, that's it from me. But I particularly liked those three things, and hopefully the next council will also do more of them.
Thank you, Tony. Anybody else would like to speak during council matter communications? Michael?
Real quick, Mr. Chair, not to belabor things, I also want to wish Bill, Val, and Jack the best of luck. I've known Val pretty much my entire life, being old family friends, so I wish her nothing but success going forward. We knew each other even in our business lives, her as an attorney, me working for the court, so I would see her all the time. I've leaned on Val a lot over the last 6 years serving with her. She's helped me out in a lot of situations, and something that Tony said that I'm going to miss, it's nice having a couple lawyers on the dais. I'm always asking legal questions, is that allowed? And we had a situation, you know, I can't really talk about it because it was an executive session, but it was really great having two attorneys with us saying yes, no, maybe. So good stuff. Thank you, Val. Bill, same to you. I lean on you a lot
Thanks,
as well.
Mike.
Yes, thanks, Val. I'm sorry with your delay. Bill, same with you. I get a lot of advice from you, being an attorney and kind of knowing what you're doing, so I do appreciate it. I'm going to miss that, but I got your number. I'll be calling. And I'm sure we'll see Bill again. And Jack, one of my favorite things to do is serving on the Economic Strike Committee. Chris as well, you know, and I truly think, and Tony, it's a bipartisan board. And we always come out of that meeting with good information. And I think we've made some pretty wise decisions. So I appreciate, Jack, with your business sense, always giving us advice and leading us in the right direction if any questions did come up, because you know a lot about the, you know, the business life, owning a business yourself. So I want to wish you guys the best of luck in your future. And this may be my last time up here as a town councilor. I want to wish everyone else who's running for election the best of luck as well. Maybe we'll see you in the middle of November, maybe not. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you. Jack?
Mr. Del Santo forgot one other thing. He was my, he supported me the first time I tried to run for council in 2017. He signed my petition as well as you, Mr. Chair, down at the Italian Festival, to be more specific. So I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Real quick, Mr. Chair, before
Yes.
you hang up on me. I know there's a perception that we all hate each other up here. That's not true. It's, you know, it's not performative either. I think we have a lot of passion. We have a lot of passion, and we may fight and we may argue up on the sides, but Jack and I speak on the phone often about things outside, about family. Chris and I, not as much, but we don't fight as much either. But, so
Brothers.
that's a perception. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilman Del Santo. Anybody else? Councilwoman Clark, okay? Councilwoman Clark.
Yes. Yes, so as a new person coming onto the council a couple years ago, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I was pleasantly surprised and want to just echo that a lot of work is behind the scenes in these subcommittees, and we do work very well together, and I've had the pleasure to work with all three outgoing counselors. Jack, I appreciate your passion. Val, I appreciate, you know, you always giving information to see both sides. And Bill, I appreciate your level-headed leading. That's something I'll take with me going forward in what I do. So thank you to all three of you for teaching me those lessons.
Excellent.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. Mr. Vice Chair.
I won't repeat all of what was just said, but I agree with everything. I did want to say thank you to Jack and Val. We had butted heads here and then in the past, and I can tell you that I consider both of you friends. Bill, you were my mentor when I came on the town council, and you've been my confidant and partner for quite a long time. I'm going to miss you here, but I'm sure you'll support us in the future.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your service.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Councilman Palmieri wants another crack.
Yes.
Go for it.
Some non-well wishes to our fellow counselors. First of all, I know we approved the minutes, and we approved them as they were submitted, but I have some documents that I'd like to submit In the minutes that we approved, there were correspondences from a former employee that were included in the last minutes, and there's information that could be misleading. So I think this information about a town department just creates the full picture of what was documented in the correspondences that we all received, and were in the minutes. So I'd like to pass that down to the town clerk.
Can you, do you want to summarize what you're passing down so people know?
Yeah, so I had requested an FOI request because we received documentation, the full council, about, I don't want to talk about any names, but about a department in town, and one of the correspondences in the minutes that we received last time basically called out another town employee, but really was not factual with some of the happenings within that department. So I think this clarifies it. It's already online through an FOI request, so it's already documented on the town website. But again, just to put it in context, because all those correspondences were included in the last minutes of the council meeting, I wanted to make sure that this was also included in the council minutes as well.
Okay. So in here, there is some information that is, looks like from a personnel file about reprimands. Do you want to include that in these meeting minutes?
Unbeknownst to me, it was already published on the town website, so that already is.
So you want to include this in the meeting minutes, though,
Yes.
you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, this past weekend, on Saturday, we had a chance to showcase our town with Music of the Night competition. Bands from across the state were here competing at Southern High School. I'd like to shout out Kennedy, DePaulo, and Southern High School bands for making us very proud and representing our town well as they welcomed all these other bands from across the state. That was this Saturday. On October 17th, I had the pleasure with Paul to serve at the Leading Ladies Luncheon, and it was great to recognize many, many women in their leadership in our community, but special shout out to Liz Schubert, who was recognized this year at that event. On October 22nd, I'd like to shout out to Bill Pesch, who was inducted in the Southington High School Wall of Honor. Thank you to Bob Brown for organizing that. Bill was recognized for his professional contributions. He's a doctor, and really very impressive with what he's done with his career. So I want to give him a shout out as well. And lastly, I want to give a shout out. Jen knows, I shared with her yesterday, we've been working very hard on the Pleasant Street property just coming up following. We have a master plan for that property. And the next piece of that puzzle was constructed yesterday. Ethan Hoffman, who is going for his Eagle Scout badge, was on site yesterday constructing the farm stand. So that is now erected on that site. So again, the master plan is coming together. Soon there will be a barn on there. But again, just a huge shout out to Ethan Hoffman for his work as part of his Eagle Scout Merit Badge project to construct that farm stand. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't driven by, it really is something, it's great.
It's amazing what the Eagle Scouts are doing to help on that property. They're really helping us transform that to our master plan.
To your point, this was the third Eagle Scout project on that site already. And I've already planted some seeds for future projects as well.
No pun intended, near the
Yeah,
community
exactly.
garden
True.
and the
No pun
DePaulo
intended.
garden.
Yeah.
We know there's also a barn coming there, right? That's
Yes, from the
slated to
school.
be hopefully delivered soon, I heard. Okay, anybody else? Okay, hearing none, I got a few things. I'll echo some of the sentiments, about the three council people who are leaving. Jack and I knew each other prior to coming on council, his family as well. Had done some volunteer projects with his family and had seen Jack quite often for coffees in the morning. And we were beginning our discussions about local town activities even prior to Jack joining. Your passion and your energy, Jack, is appreciated, and your expertise as a local business person that you've infused is also appreciated. So thanks for your efforts on the council.
Thank you.
Val also, as a local business person, and of course, your legal background, as Mike and others have alluded to, has been extremely invaluable. And I also want to echo Mike's comments. There were times where I would call Val. We had some, a few tough initiatives, and, I had reached out to Val asking to work on some initiatives with me, and Val was always open to work on those. I would say most all of the ones that we worked on, we worked to find common ground, and we proposed things to the council that I believe were adapted and adopted along the way. So I appreciate your collaboration and professional approach, Val.
Thanks, Paul.
And of course, Bill, rounding up the end here, but certainly not last, also with your legal expertise, has been also very welcome to me and to the rest of the council, I'm sure. As a business owner who's also working diligently to transform the downtown Plantsville, I also want to say thank you for your work and your efforts. You're always out there. You and your team are supporting local volunteer initiatives, as well as some of the others, Val and Jack as well. And of course, I also will miss the friendship and the camaraderie, Bill, on some of the topics that you've helped guide and have always been a steady voice on the council as well. Somebody who takes a calm demeanor approach to everything that we do here. So I think a lot of us look to you to, for your perspectives, because you often see things in a different perspective that some of us also don't see right away. So thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Paul.
I'll have some final comments at the end of the meeting, and I'd like to just talk about a couple other items that I wanted to echo, what Chris said. Congrats to Liz Schubert and being, recognized at the Leading Ladies. Her tireless efforts don't go unnoticed. She's done so much in the community. So congratulations to Liz, and also to Sherry Dinello, who's put out, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make that event happen for the last few years. So thank you, Sherry, and we appreciate all that you do to make the Leading Ladies happen, and also a shout out to Jim as well, who's right there by our side helping and volunteering. Also, the Red Ribbon Rally happened, and wanted to give kudos to Trish Kenefick and Victoria Triano, once again leading that effort. And I will say it was an amazing event this year. The students that were there, the parents that were there, were awesome this year as well. And it was probably one of the highest attending Red Ribbon rallies that we've had recently. So that's a testament to the both of your efforts each and every year, that people continue to come back and more come. So thank you. It's such an important event in the community. There's a few things. I attended a Knights of Columbus breakfast yesterday. It was, again, very well attended. It was at the Calendar House, so it was nice to see so many people supporting the local Knights. I have a few items here that I wanted to pass along for the record. The Calvinese family is inviting, once again, veterans who would like to have Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday, November 27th at the AquaTurf. They're inviting a veteran plus 3 family members if they would like to have Thanksgiving dinner at the AquaTurf. It starts at 11:30, dinner starts at 12, and RSVP by November 20th. You can call Kathy at 475-689-0219, and I will put this into the record so that people can find it there. Also received information about the Connecticut Oral Health Initiative. There's free dental care for veterans in Greater Hartford. There's a QR code, and there's information about all the services that are provided on this sheet. So I will pass that along for the record for those veterans who may be looking for some dental support. In the last few days, there's been some discussion about SNAP benefits and the unknown nature of what's going to happen with SNAP. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. It's always a changing dynamic that occurs. I reached out to our Southington Community Services and Janet Mellon to discuss the situation, and I just wanted to let everybody know, and for those who are watching, Southington Community Services, the organization, and Janet have their finger on the pulse. They're aware of the situation. They're monitoring regularly, and they have made a commitment that nobody in Southington will suffer if there's any loss of benefit on SNAP. I think that's a November 1st potential deadline. Again, of course, it's difficult to say what's going to happen November 1st because a lot changes day to day. But just know that Janet Mellon and the Southington Community Services team will be there. They have the resources. They are gearing up for any potential additional increase in need, and they will ensure that nobody in Southington goes hungry. So if you're in need today, or if you're in need as a result of any lost benefits here in the future because of SNAP or anything else, please contact Southington Community Services, and they will be there to support you. And thank you, Janet, for all that you do and all of the volunteers at Southington Community Services. And then lastly, one last thing that I wanted to say, and if it pleases the council, I'd like to read this one into the record because it's so near and dear to my heart. I had the opportunity, Barbara Blau from the summit had reached out and asked if I would consider attending a private birthday party this weekend. So I had the opportunity to go to the birthday party of Mr. William Chapman, who is at the summit, and he turns 100 in a couple weeks. He's also a World War II veteran, and what an honor it was to go and speak with him and his family and talk with him about his service. And I did have the honor of providing a proclamation. And so if it's okay, I'd like to just read this one into the record. It says, Town of Southington Proclamation honoring Mr. William Chapman. Whereas the Southington Town Council proudly recognizes and honors residents whose lives exemplify courage, service, and dedication to family and community. And whereas Mr. William Chapman, of Narragansett and Mohegan descent, has served as a proud member of the Wickapog Eastern Pequot Indian Tribe, where he was named an honorary sub-chief in recognition of his lifelong commitment to heritage and community. And whereas Mr. Chapman honorably served his country as a radio man in the United States Navy during World War II, stationed aboard a landing ship medium in the Pacific Theater, and was present in Tokyo Bay for the signing of the surrender treaty with Japan, marking the end of the war. And whereas Mr. Chapman is a devoted family man, a proud father, grandfather, and great-grandfather whose love and legacy have enriched the lives of all who know him. And whereas the Southington Town Council joins his family and friends in celebrating his remarkable milestone of 100 years, recognizing a century filled with faith, service, and honor. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Paul Chaplinsky Jr., on behalf of the entire Southington Town Council and the citizens of Southington, do hereby proclaim November 12th, his birthday, as William Chapman Day in the town of Southington, and extends heartfelt congratulations and gratitude for his extraordinary life and service to our nation and community. Dated this 26th day of October, yesterday, 2025, town of Southington, state of Connecticut. So I'd like to put that in the record. Thank you for allowing me to read that, everybody. Okay. Unico dinner is the Monday before.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Chris and I both forgot to mention it. The Unico dinner, two of the best nights of the year. Next Monday night, chicken parm and pasta fajoule. So it's 6 p.m. Tickets, I believe, are still available. You can get them through any Unico member, and Chris has them as well, right? You'll put them in.
Testas.
It's at Testa's, 6 p.m. Come hungry.
Excellent.
Mr.
Thank
Chair?
you.
Yeah, if I could just mention one other thing that wasn't mentioned this evening. Chris spoke a little bit about the Wall of Honor. I think it's also important to highlight that Councilman Paul Marai was also added to the Wall of Honor. So I know he, won't mention it, and that's just Chris, who he is as a person. But I thought it was very important to also highlight that he was also included.
Excellent. Thank you. Congratulations, Chris. Okay, item 4, reports of special committees. We have one special committee. It's open space. It's Councilwoman Clocks.
Yes, so we did have a special meeting on Sunday, October 19th, and we, as a group, went on a hike at Novix Orchards, which is about 80 acres of town open space and is historically significant. And we walked down to see the new footbridge that was built. It's beautiful. The whole area is beautiful. And I think I've mentioned before, please go visit, take a hike, watch the sunset, enjoy our town's open space.
It was a great hike. Thank you, Jen. It was very short for Mr. Del Santo, who didn't go.
Much steeper, much longer trail that day.
Okay. Item 5, Town Manager's Report and Communications, A, 2025-2026 snow removal bids.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Every fall, this comes up on your agenda, and it's the same thing every year. There's a recommendation from the Highway Department to accept and approve all bids. Some different things this year. One thing we're starting to look at is personal property declarations. I had a good conversation with Councilman Perry, so we're gonna start looking at who's filing, who's not filing, and maybe possibly the next council taking that into determination of the recommendation of bids. That's just for your awareness right now. There's also some bidders who are dual assigned that said, hey, we wanna help you, but only if it's a big emergency because we're really, really busy. So you'll see noted on some of those, it says emergency use only, so we're only gonna be relying on those if there's nobody else to help out. But they are willing to help out if we get one of those 2013 storm events again, hoping we don't get one of those again. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Any questions on the snow removal? Okay, Jack?
Yes, so this year, it looks like a lot of them start putting their year, make, and model of the equipment, which I greatly appreciate, because I know previous years, I've always, brought that up, because obviously a 1980s vehicle doesn't do what a 2025 vehicle can do, especially in the equipment world. They're just more productive, so I think it's very important. I like that we're, entrusting the town staff to pick, based on the needs, and then, it's nice to see that, a local business in town still bid, even though they only want to, be there in the event of an emergency. It looks like their rates are still very reasonable. So I think that shows a lot of how Southington businesses are, is that they'll be here for the town of Southington if needed, but only in an emergency situation. So I think that's, very important to understand and highlight that that's what makes Southington, is that we have businesses that are always willing to step up, even if they can't take on the workload, or rather not, they're here for Southington. So I think that's what really makes Southington very special. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Perry. Anybody else? Chris?
Just to follow up, as Jack mentioned, some of them actually list the age of the vehicles. Is that something that we can put in the bids moving forward, so we know apples to
Absolutely.
apples?
Yep, absolutely.
Because it is very helpful, like a 1986, to your point, is 40 years old versus a 2025.
And town staff is actively asking those follow-ups, just so they can note it down there when they're gonna be making those decisions.
Okay.
Because if it's a $10 difference and it's a $10 an hour with a 40-year difference,
Absolutely.
that $10 an hour isn't gonna be worth it.
Okay. It's also uptime, an older vehicle is more, prone to breakdowns. So I think that's also important that, the town staff knows that they're calling on an older vehicle, which may not, deliver.
And I know it's helpful for Mr. Del Santo when he looks at this and sees Kenworth T800 versus the Cat 2465.
Yep, it's important. I got a 13-foot snow box.
Right.
No one needs it.
Okay. Well, thank you to the town manager. We will have this on for action under old business to get a decision on the snow bid removal. Item B, Winchester Estates Cluster Mailbox Update. Last meeting, we had asked the town manager to work with staff and the developer and the postal service to look for a suitable place inside of the subdivision, and I think we have some good news that you want to share.
We do, Mr. Chairman. Following the last meeting, I met with, in person, the developer, Mr. Lovely. I met with our town planner, David LaValle, and we brainstormed different locations that would be more appropriate for those Churchill residents who have sent numerous correspondence, well-documented correspondence outlining the significant issues that they saw. We spoke with the post office as well. The Postmaster General in Sullivan has officially, not put in writing, but he has officially blessed and approved the location. And that location's tentatively going to be the east cul-de-sac in Winchester Estates. There's several lots there. Mr. Lovely's keeping one of those lots for his daughter, so they're gonna put it on that lot. And the hope is when the property to the north is built, if it's built someday, they're not sure how feasible it is. But at this current time, there's a piece of land that is earmarked to extend the development. The hope is that in the future, the Planning and Zoning Commission and the post office will approve a permanent location for the quote-unquote new, but will be old Winchester Estates and the new development to the north in that location where the two developments connect. So that's the long-term goal. There are no current plans right now that the town knows about to develop that northern piece, but if it does someday go there, we think that is a better location down the road. But right now, until further notice, we believe it will be on the east cul-de-sac at the end of it, out of the Churchill development. And I spoke with many residents via email and a few on the phone. Everybody's been very happy. Spoke with 2 Winchester residents. They're also happy that they don't have to go pick up their mail at the post office anymore. So I think we're gonna have a very good result after all. Because I know it's been a long few years for both the Winchester residents and a long few months for the Churchill residents, just because everything's been in limbo.
I think it's a win-win for everybody. I think it starts to establish mail delivery inside the subdivision, and it addresses the safety issues and the inconvenience issues of putting the cluster mailbox on an existing road that exists today with, questionable safety situation. I also wanted to thank Mr. Lovely for working with the Postal Service and Congressman Larson for his efforts to try to address the issue of mail delivery inside the neighborhood. I think to the town manager, I think it's important that maybe as a takeaway for you to carry to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I think we need to update our site plan regulations for subdivisions that qualify for this type of use to ensure that the communication from the post office, which we understand didn't make it to the town for this subdivision, ensure that it's reflected in any new subdivision applications that come forward, so that it's a requirement and is part of the site plan and subdivision plans. So if you'll take that action to put that on maybe one of the next dockets for the new Planning and Zoning Commission, we'd appreciate that. Chris?
Just to add to your thanks, Paul, Alex, I want to thank you and Dave. It's not ideal. The residents obviously ultimately wanted not cluster mailboxes. They wanted the mailboxes at their curbside, but I think we did as best we could considering the circumstances. Paul, as you mentioned, Congressman Larson reached out because it is a federal office and tried to get some resolution there. So considering all the efforts made, Alex, thank you, and Dave for talking to Mr. Lovely. And I think it's the best solution that we could possibly do local, within our local control. Absolutely. Thank you. You're welcome.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you'd never say it, but thank you to the chair. Thank you for Chris for reaching out to Mr. Larson for going above and beyond. This is a really good job by both of you to help the residents in town. So, and Alex and his office and Dave as well. Good job, everyone.
Thank you. Anybody else? Winchester Estates? Okay. Thank you to the town manager for your reports. Item 6, Town Attorney's Report, 22 Main Street.
I have some good news. It sounds like today's been mostly all good news. It's been a long process, as everyone in the council knows, and many people in the audience are watching. But Substantially all of the planning and zoning applications have been approved by the town for 22 Main Street. We are working through the final stages, and when I say final stages, I'm referring to a walkthrough of various procedural matters. The matter is tentatively scheduled to close on November 19th. Again, the operative word in that sentence is tentatively, because as with all closings, in particular commercial, they're subject to a couple days before, a couple days after, but it does not appear that there are any roadblocks or substantial delays that are in the foreseeable future. Many of you may have already seen, there is an artist rendering that was floated around on Facebook. I don't know that that's the final rendering, but it certainly appears to be beautiful and a sort of a cornerstone to our downtown and the town green. I know it's been a multi-year process between deciding to buy that property, being successful in the bid, closing, marketing, and now the final chapter, that being the sale of the actual building. And it appears it's going to be a considerable asset to the town as well. So more to come, but it looks like mid-November, preferably the 19th, we will have closed on that property, and this chapter will be closed.
Any questions on 22 Main? Good stuff, yeah. I mean, that's a generational activity between the purchase and the sale.
Undoubtedly.
That will definitely be looked at quite a bit in the future, so.
And I think better
In a
the town
positive way.
In every way. The parking is the obvious, most important benefit, but based on my review of the documentation submitted and that rendering, I can't help but think it's going to only help the downtown area and Southington as a whole as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Town Attorney. Okay, moving on to item 7, public communications. Is there anybody who would like to speak during public communications? Please, come on up. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Michelle Allaire, 228 Lazy Lane. And I'm not quite certain if you're the place I should be coming to with this, but I figured I'd start here. My home is set 300 feet off the street, and I have gullies, drainage ditches on both sides of my driveway. So I cannot do leaf pickup because the town said it has to be curbside, and I can't put it in the ditch, and they won't let me put it on the grass on the other side of the ditch. So this weekend, I was quite annoyed that at least 90% of the people in Southington put their leaves in the street when they have frontage. Why are they putting their leaves in the street? And I can't do it, and I don't get to have leaf pickup. The town has informed me that I can bring it in back of my house, which is 300 feet to lug leaves, or put it across Lazy Lane on my neighbor's property if he'd allow me, which picture me trying to cross the street in Lazy Lane bringing leaves. So I said to her, I said, so I called the highway department this week, today I spoke to them. And I said, did you change the policy or something where people could put leaves in the street? And she said, no. And I said, oh, okay, I just thought I'd ask because this, the block up from me, everyone has their leaves in the street. Why not they have the sidewalk, a big strip of grass, and everyone's putting them in the street. And she said, well, they're not supposed to. And I said, I just don't understand how they can get away with that. And I don't have the opportunity for leaf pickup, but they can have leaf pickup, but they're not following the rules. She said, you'd have to contact the police department and do a formal complaint. And I said, so I contacted the police department. So I spoke to an officer, and he said, I don't think that that's an ordinance or anything that I can adhere to, but I'll look into it. I've never heard of it. And I said, well, it's quite dangerous. I'm driving down the road, and I have a brand-new car, a Cadillac I bought myself last year. I don't want to have to keep driving through leaves all the time. And driving here tonight, I took the side roads, came down Westwood, and what was the other street? Hilltop. Everybody has their leaves in the street. And it was very dangerous for me to drive here because I kept having to, go around, and I go to get, I'm looking for curbings. You can't see any curbings because it's all leaves. And if nobody is enforcing that, it's going to be, I think it's just ridiculous. they have a privilege of the town picking it up. Why can't they follow the rules? It's a whole month of leaves all over the roads. Piles. I mean, today I saw a pile this high. So anyhow, that's it. And I don't know, you're all just looking at me like, yeah, so what?
Just waiting for you to, I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Lair. Maybe to the town manager, is this something that you could take a look into, especially the part about the pickup of leaves at Ms. Lair's property? I understand that there's some difficulty maybe reaching or whatever, but I think, some accommodation, it's a small area of town. If we can look to try to make some accommodations.
Well, when she told me no today, I spent over 5 hours, no lie, 5 hours
Fair.
taking care of
Understand.
my leaves because she said no.
We will look into it, and I will say the leaves in the street is something the town has battled since I was a year old. We every time we can, we let people know, even when if people our highway department's driving by and seeing people blowing, hey, you can't put them in the street. But it is an issue, and you're right, ma'am. Not 90%, it's 99%.
Yeah, I didn't want to say 99 because I didn't want to,
Including
push it.
myself sometimes.
Tell us your address one more time.
228 Lazy Lane.
228 Lazy Lane.
Yes.
Maybe, do you want to maybe write your phone number down and give it to the
Sure,
town
because
manager
I'll
before you
probably-
leave?
They're starting leaf pickup on Monday, but
Okay.
my neighbor next door has a huge oak, and all the trees down my length of my driveway are my neighbor's trees. If I had it my way, I'd cut them all down, because I can't
Understood.
haul them. I'm getting old, my husband's 78, and, it's tough. But thank you, but
Sure.
I don't know what we can do with, I came tonight because I know a lot of people watch the meetings on YouTube or whatever, and I said, maybe people will hear this and say, oh, we shouldn't put him in the street. Just use common sense. It's very dangerous. It really is. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
I don't know. Thank you.
Do you need a pen to write down your info for the town manager? There you go. Okay, is there anybody else who would like to speak during public communications? Just state your name and address for the record, sir.
Hi, John Patterson, 150 Churchill Street. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and council members, Mr. Town Attorney, and Mr. Town Manager. It's a lot of thank yous this evening to the outgoing board members, so I'd be remiss being part of that Churchill Street neighborhood that loaded up your email boxes with notes about what was going on over there. To not be here to say thank you for your efforts over the last couple months to try to help us out. And I realize that, it's been a bit of a hassle for everyone. But the fact of the matter is you all worked together and you got with the appropriate departments and Mr. Lovely in the post office, and it looks like we've got a solution. And I'm sure it's not, like you said, Mr. Chaplinsky, what the Winchester Estates residents would really like. They'd like to have home mail delivery, but at this stage of the game, it looks like it's the best we're gonna do. And I can pretty passionately speak for the Churchill Street folks that they're gonna be very pleased. And we'll do our best to try to help out the Winchester Estates folks kind of get over the hump a little bit. So my thanks, our thanks, and we sincerely appreciate your help. Thank
And
you.
thanks for coming out.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Is there anybody else who would like to speak tonight?
Hi, everybody.
Madam Chairwoman, Reverend Triano.
Listen, I just wanted, Victoria Triano, 33 Bellevue. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you because you guys have done a great job. And even though sometimes we don't always agree on everything, but what I've witnessed over the last couple of months, and it's part of the job, I get it, but I brought my Town of Southington information and guidelines for boards, committees, and commissions. I'm sure all of you have a copy of that by your bedstand. I just wanted to say that there has been times at the end of this term, we're looking to the new term, and who's ever here is here, and I wish you all the very best. And of course, to Jack and to Bill and to Val, of course, wish them the very best too. Jack's got some things in front of him too. So, but I did want to say this. The last few months, we've heard some very vitriolic remarks coming from the public. And I know that in our information guidelines, it says that during public communications, we should allow the public to speak uninterrupted. And for the most part, I agree with that. However, there are times that, for whatever reason, people come up very passionately and lose sight of what they're trying to say, and all of a sudden, the statement gets very vitriolic and very difficult and very aggravated and very aggressive sometimes, and say things that are quite difficult. It's hard to sit there and not respond when someone is impugning your integrity and you're not allowed to say anything. And I've seen that over and over. So I wanted to end this council looking forward and say that all of you are volunteers, as you all know. And all of you, no matter what side of the aisle we sit, give an enormous amount of time, effort, and dedication to this community. And I just want to thank you for that, because I've sat there many years, and I've seen it, but lately I've seen it a little bit more. You know, when a council person goes out to their car and they're accosted in the parking lot by some irate person, and the person feels that they're not safe and they have to come back in without taking care of what they wanted to take care of, that crosses the line. And so I just want to tell you that I don't believe you have to take it. And I believe that if there's someone who gets so angry that they're throwing insults and impugning your integrity, that you would call them out of order. Mr. Chairman, I look to you and all of the members of the council, because I have never met a council person that didn't do this from the goodness of their heart. No matter if I agreed with them or not, no matter if they came from a different perspective. For 28 years, for all those years on the council, I have to tell you, I never found anyone who was willing to serve, maybe because it takes so much effort to get to those seats, that they didn't love this town and move forward with the love of the community. I just want to encourage you, whoever the council is coming in, that maybe we look at this a little bit further. And just with the mutual, actually, Mr. Chairman, I want to say, I think you've done a very good job leading this council. And sometimes I know it is difficult and whatever, but there is a mutual respect on this council that speaks for all of your integrity. And I hope that we as the public, now I'm sitting over there, that we as the public remember the responsibility that you've all voluntarily taken on, and that you're doing your best. And I just wanted to say formally thank you to Jack and to Bill and to Val, of course, and wish you all the very best. Thank you. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Victoria.
Does anybody need a cut? No.
Would anybody else like to speak during public communications? Okay. Going one more time. Hearing none. Just got it in. Come on up. Just please state your name and address for the record.
Dr. Laura Triano, 61 Russell Road. I have two comments. The first is regarding remarks made at the October 14th Town Council meeting. And so I don't misrepresent the facts on the public record, I'll read directly from the available minutes. Mr. Morrison also states that on social media over the last couple of weeks, he has seen comments from people who don't understand that the town has insurance that protects the town from all types of things, including legal cases. He wants everyone to know that the town has insurance through CIRMA. And although it's not defined in the minutes, CIRMA stands for Connecticut Interlocal Risk Management Agency. I don't use social media, so I won't comment on the specific remarks to which Mr. Morrison was referring, but he clearly felt it was an important enough point to bring it up at the last town council meeting, so perhaps it should be further discussed. Mr. Morrison mentioned legal cases, and many may be aware that there's ongoing litigation against the town of Southington, as well as individual officials. Earlier this year, at the July 14th Town Council meeting, Mr. Del Santo introduced a resolution to provide legal counsel to named individuals in the lawsuit, a resolution the council subsequently adopted. In the interest of transparency and public information and public education, perhaps it would be helpful to have a more formalized presentation about CIRMA at an upcoming meeting, so that the residents of Southington can understand what CIRMA is, how the town is insured, and how the municipality's level of risk and rate for contracted services is determined and paid for with our tax dollars. I do know that the town has a self-insurance committee, which would address some of these issues. However, it looks like the committee has only met 3 times this year, last in April. There were actually more meeting cancellation notices than meeting minutes available for that committee online. And if there is already information available to the public about this topic, please direct me to it, as I couldn't easily find any on the town website. And second, to those town council members whose term is ending and who are not seeking re-election, I and many others thank you for your service to the town of Southington in this role. You've given generously of your time, arguably one of the most precious gifts that any of us has, to a cause much greater than yourselves. You've also given generously of your expertise and your patience. As a taxpayer observing these town council meetings over the past year, most of them remotely, the tenor of the discussion at many times has been unnecessarily toxic. The lack of basic respect and civility toward council members, as well as town residents, has been uncomfortable to witness and endure. It raises questions about character and whether some of your motivations for pursuing this elected role are more aligned with self-service than public service. And to be clear, none of my observations are politically motivated. There has been a pervasive climate of pettiness, vindictiveness, and unprofessionalism at many of these town meetings that erodes confidence in your ability to effectively govern on behalf of all taxpayers and residents of this town. And so to some of you who are seeking re-election to the town council, do better. Moving forward, it's the only way that our entire community of Southington can truly thrive.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak during public communications? Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, we will close public communications and move on to item 8, old business. Item A, 2025-2026 snow removal bids.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the bids that we have as directed by the town manager, to take all the bids and use them as needed.
We have a motion from Mike,
I'll second.
second from
Should
Chris.
we, Mike, should we specify to use them in the cost?
Oh,
sequence?
yes, right, you mentioned that, right, or how does it work?
They're going to do it in the cost sequence, but they're gonna take into consideration age of the vehicle, so if you just approve them as is and let them determine that, would be appreciated.
Fine, then I won't put that
Fine.
All set? So the motion stands and the second stands?
as determined, yep.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Perry,
Yes.
Clock,
Yes.
Del Santo,
Yes.
DiPaolo,
Yes?
Dietzick,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Palmieri,
Yes.
Chaplinsky.
Yes, motion passes unanimously. Item 9, new business, tax refunds.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the tax refunds that are presented in our packets.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Item B, appointments. 1 Senior Citizen Commission, 1 member, 3-year term, expiring March 2028. This replaces Deborah Durbin.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Crystal McKeever, 1505 West Street, here in Southington, for that position.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second from Tony. Any discussion on the nomination? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, I'd like to finish up with a few remarks that I have just put together. Before I do, what I'd like to do is have asked the town manager to put together a few awards for the 3 members of the council whose term are up and are not seeking re-election. So maybe, Mr. Town Manager, if you can please present those, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My executive assistant, Lara Culver, made these for everybody. This is a tradition that's happened many, many, many terms. Thank you to the past Chairwoman Triana who gave us the sketch and the template. I brought Councilwoman DePaulo's to her house earlier today, so she has hers, so she's already seen the sneak peek. But I do have one for Mr. Perry, Mr. Dezick, I'd like to present.
Thank you.
For those who are remote, it is a picture, it's a sketch of, a color sketch. I believe it's a pencil colored sketch of the town hall downtown, framed and in color. So thank you for doing that, Mr. Town Manager. I'd also like to thank the town manager for everything he's done this term. You know, it's been a year of change, or a year and a handful of months of change. I think that you've done an excellent job in the face of everything that's been going on with, you know, transitioning from a long tenure of a town manager leadership, especially between, you know, 2 of the longest tenured leaders that have spanned more than 50 years, really, between the 2 of them. So that's quite extraordinary. And also to the town attorney, to Lou Martaccio. Thanks so much for all the guidance that you've provided to this council, all the work that you've done to study some of the initiatives that we've asked for some help and guidance on. We appreciate everything that you've done as well. So thank you. And to town staff, thank you also, staff members that are here, but also the staff members that are behind the scenes who work each and every day, you know, doing the jobs that they do to support the residents of the town, and also all of the boards and committees that we have that we, you know, look to, we have questions about, we set strategies about. They're tirelessly working behind the scenes to help provide us with some of the information that gets brought to these committees so that decisions can be made. So thanks to the town staff. And as we wrap up the term, I wanted to take a moment to just talk a little bit about, you know, the hard work of all of those people who help support the subcommittees. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say also supporting the residents of Southington, because they're doing that each and every day. And they're doing it with a smile on, so thank you. It's been an honor to serve as your chairman these past 2 years. Together, we've worked hard to protect the taxpayers, strengthen public safety, invest in our infrastructure, support our schools, seniors, and veterans, and preserve the character that makes Southington such a great place to live. We delivered responsible budgets that kept taxes low compared to our comparable towns and protected our AA+ bond rating, which keeps our borrowing costs down. We've also brought and supported new and restored investments in a new library and restored resources to the library and the Bards Museum as part of our budget process. We also invested in resources and transportation for our seniors. We improved public safety teams and resources and the tools that they need to be effective and make sure our town employees have workspace where they're respected and protected. We did that with a no harassment policy that we enacted through this council. We also took real steps to preserve open space, such as the 50 acres adjacent to Crescent Lake, which enhance our parks. We enhance our parks with investments such as new recreation, park pool, and planned carefully for Southington's future. With investments in infrastructure to promote the long-term industrial business growth, making sure growth happens the right way, not just the fast way. Of course, none of that happens without teamwork at this council. This council has accomplished a lot because we've been willing to listen and debate, and yes, sometimes passionately. But at the end of the day, we're all here doing what's best for the people we serve. So thank you. I especially want to recognize Jack Perry, Val DiPaolo, Bill Dietzick, who will be finishing their service tonight. Each of you has brought unique experiences, passion, and a heart to this council. And Southington is better off because of it. Thank you for all that each one of you have done. To those running for re-election, I wish you all the best in this election. And to our residents, thank you for caring, for your ideas and suggestions, and for believing in this town as much as I do. And finally, it's been one of the greatest privileges of my life to serve as your town council chairman. Thank you all for that opportunity and for everything we've accomplished together. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thanks, everybody.